Today's a celebration day for the Native American icon Sequoyah. He was part of the Cherokee tribe and gave his people a writing system so that they could record their history. Visual storytellers Elizabeth Longmire and Jake Albright take us back in time.
Sequoyah actually dies in August of 1843. This is the 1809 Cherokee blacksmith shop, and it was in 1809 that Sequoyah announced in his blacksmith shop that we could create a writing system. That he's the only person in over 5,000 years of human civilization and all those records, he's the only person to actually create a writing system by himself, and the fact that he was illiterate. He could not read in any language, write in any language, and so as an illiterate person over 12 years, he developed the Cherokee syllabary.
And this would have been something that might have been done on a Sunday a long time ago.
These dolls were the first Barbie doll. So this is what Barbie looked like 200 years ago. We enjoy doing the dolls, myself and my niece do, just because it brings a smile to people's faces.
It gives a chance for folks in the community to come and see what we're doing, and also then when they have family or friends come back in, it's like, well, let's take them by and show them the exhibit. So.